Alright, let's put on a new song. So, for those of you who are just catching up, um, no, no, no. For those of you just catching up, the plan is that Ripley might be ready to be converted to the Church of Fang. Let's get to it. We've been over it several times in the last few weeks, and the sense of dread lessened each time that after the first train wreck of a dinner. Yet I was standing in front of the front door of my parents' house, fearing it as badly as the first time he came back. Tonight was the night. As much as I'd hoped things would go better this time, even a little, even if I was being honest with myself, I was terrified with how things would have shaked out. Realistically, it felt like things just couldn't go well. Dad would freak out again, berate me as a monster, and I'd be forced to sit there and hear it without being able to leave. You could just move out of the room. Or he'd cut Anon forcibly out of his life, and by proxy, Mom's. With a possibility of more, he could believe them. And then what? Wasn't it, fuck, why are you so on the swearing, Fang? Are you getting brainwashed by God? God, get out of here! Stop! Let Fang swear. No, me just accept that. Accept me so easily. Made resounding look that was a monster was dead to him. Physically but emotionally. Okay. And Anon's caught in the middle with you. If I could stop looking at the wall and psyching myself up. Yeah, that you're sure psyching yourself up there, buddy. That's gonna be big, one way or the other. Another one of his loud thoughts moments. It's easy to see how I'm almost feeling the tension with his posture tense and jaw set. Holy shit, we're using some physical description instead of just mentioning that he's tense. I mean, you are mentioning that he's tense, but you're giving us something to work with. Like, what does Anon look like? It wasn't really bad, but it's clear to see I was coiled up like a spring. Oh, that alone would call me off. Seen enough. I'll be disappointed. Oh man, it's tense. It's the wrong song for this. No, I'm thinking of the maybe introspective. Pale morning. That's what I'm looking for. Pale morning. Julian was officially. Oh man, Julian was almost officially part of the family with that warm of a. That's a great way to put it. Crimson Mouse from rolling over in response, a still better greeting than we'd anticipated. Ever getting Mom's. Okay, more or less. Wait. Still better greeting than we'd anticipated ever getting when Mom's plan normalized things went into motion. Yeah, whatever. Very awkward sentence. Or maybe I'm just stupid. I guess the idea of little by little acclimatizing Dad to Anon being around was slowly stripping away at his insufferable stoicism. The best way to get rid of this stuff is just keep exposing people. Because, sometimes the problem is just that you're allowed to sit in your own shit. And issued a greeting in response to the one he got before slowly moving over deep into the house to find Mom. No doubt she'd have her pictures, the pictures we'd taken the day before. Pretty normal stuff, nothing fancy. But in addition to the ones we got all through, taking the last meet up. They really pad out the evidence on display to make it hard for the aggravating old shit to deny it. That's mean. I don't say any of this helps. Like, you need proof with him in the picture, like something that feels recent. I took a slow, steadying breath as I closed my eyes. Well, my fist tightly and relaxed. There you go. It's a little trick that Rosa passed down on Anon by the way of Reed, one of her chicken phone calls, in case I need to relax a bit. I mean, the reason you're using it more is you don't get to sleep. You don't get that brain reset to bail you out of a bind. The song has an issue with, like, taking a while to start up, though. Whoa! The fuck was that? What was that? My mouse suddenly got grasped by ghosts. Close the program. I guess that program was screwing around with the USB connection or something. Actually, let's try it out. Maybe it was that, and I would like to know. Or maybe it was OBS. No, it couldn't be OBS. Whatever. Open my eyes again, look down at my father. I wish I talked to Rosamar. Oh man, one day there'd be a chance of that too. Man, if holy water can touch you, at least you can write with it. You can put it on some paper. Author's very careful with over empowering ghosts in this one, because it's very easy to slip up. Feeling less actively agitated, open my eyes again, looking at my father climbing blissfully, unaware that one of his children was mere feet away. Guy's trying to make ends meet. As one focused there onto you, his mind was clearly elsewhere. He looked slightly healthier than the last time we saw him. Bit of weight having returned. Looking at him still pissed me off, though. It was impossible not to. With each time visiting, my sense of regret and even pity grew. I made him like this. He made me how I was when I went and shot a bunch of people, but it's hard to say there was a fair trade with him. Would I look like that if I hadn't killed myself? Just wasting away in the wake of everything? Damn. Probably in prison, though. I mean, isn't that what None in the Chamber is about? I really do love that One in the Chamber actually, at some point, I was like, oh, they were going somewhere with this. I was so bitter. It was a terrible time to read that. The fact that Mom, how wispy she was before, wasn't a walking skeleton was almost a miracle unto itself. I'd written her off as obnoxious, airheaded flake that couldn't commit to actually helping her family when the chips were down. But seeing her truck on after both her children were dead and taking care of Dad and trying to keep up with daily routine was eye-opening. That's way too long of a sentence, buddy. You might want to cut that one down a couple of notches. I'd forgotten how strong of a woman she could be. You sure did. Missed that version of Mom. To be fresh with twos of thoughts, need some energy to swat the old man. Let's just do it. And I would just get instantly murdered. Because he's the only one around to do it. Obviously, they were in the kitchen. It's just as they tried to be Mom's telltale chitterings were audible. Soon I stood away from Dad. He's a lovely add-on, most of them were Fang's ideas. Figured something more fun and casual rather than standing around being, ghostly. Yeah, that. What? Fang said ghostly. I suppose that's accurate. Well, the food's in the oven, and I can slip upstairs for a few minutes to get these. It is kind of weird that Fang's wearing the same outfit though, and all you have to. I can keep him company. Man, Fang, you're such a dead weight in so many of these conversations. It's kind of sad, in context and out of. Oh no, it's my timer that I touched. Nothing to read option 2. We followed Mom into the living room and into the couch. That kid's supposed to find affection and kissy gross. Definitely had my share of eye rolling and retching when it happened in the past. And with that, she herself up upstairs and enact her part of the plan. What is the damn plan, man? We do dinner, look through the photo album to get the vibes good, and then we need to see the new photos, and that's when we drop them. I don't know if that's a good idea. That feels like a horror movie setup. Drop the bouquet of flowers? No, that's not stupid too. Whatever. We'd reveal things. We'd unveil the Fang parade float. Hopefully by the end of the evening, it'd just be one of those better moods and a place to listen. That was the idea, and all we could do would keep things in an upward trajectory with Mom steering the ship until then. Right now, though, Anna wants to take the wheel and keep Dad company for a bit. Wouldn't be much different than it usually was, but tonight the stakes felt higher. I might have been okay. That's what could show me that he wasn't dicking around. I think Anna, you didn't have much room. You had to be better or fuck up. I find it hilarious that, if we look back at Bad Apple, because I just did that other chapter, that's right after Alan's like, I'm gonna have to do better. And then he just goes out on a date, and it doesn't feel like he's actually doing anything. This chapter's so weird, man. For a reason I couldn't understand, for a reason that honestly aggravated me, he somehow was friendly with my brother. Whereas when I get out for Trish, and clearly just like Naomi. Someone supposedly was wanted to mind their own business. He was shockingly good at integrating everyone else's. Social chameleon is how I often describe it. Unfortunately for it both, I wasn't easy to manipulate when it came to Naomi's scheme, because he just wants people to go away. So I was Rockingham with that ball. So that's Rockingham with that ball, right? Anon asked, breaking the relative silence of the living room and ripping me from my wandering thoughts. Clearly he hadn't expected Anon to speak either. Once he registered the questions, I flicked Anon back to DV. Yeah, surprised you'd know. Well, I've been over a couple of times the last week, just picked up a few things. It's painfully obvious that Anna was trying to make casual conversation loosen Dad up ahead of dinner by talking about his sports shit, sports junk. Why do we do this? I mean, I know what we're doing here. We're establishing something. But, again, I don't think that swearing is the problem. I feel like if we're going to be that kind of thought police person, I don't want to be part of this anymore. I get what you're going for. You want Fang to kind of drop the anger, and you want to show that through this. But I feel you can do that by just having Fang's language go down. Ah, whatever, man. I don't think there's an easy answer here. What the hell is this? I need to forward this to people that know. Sitting as close as I was to him, I could feel the tension off him, but he was managing an air of relative control. Fairly different to how he was when he met that the first time. It's almost like Anon looked as if he was about to already... Yeah. I mean, he looked like that in a lot of fics. Then again, Anon also thought about people die and almost died himself, so maybe Dad's bluster wasn't as scary anymore. It's hard to threaten a man with death when he's already tasted it. Although it depends on the person. Some people don't walk away from that easily. Like, I know that people like to pretend that you do, but it's personal. Anon kept up the volley about random sports factoids, with just about everyone being corrected by Dad. But the fact that he kept being wrong didn't faze my old man at all. But he seemed to be enjoying it. Good on you, Anon. Keep it up. Went on for a little while longer, announcing that she'd grab something for the store to keep up briefly. Don't know if it's true or not, but I guess it didn't matter much. Being normal. Two guys yapping about sports junk. With Nasser and Dad, it made the place feel normal again. Anon, you're not going to be Nasser. Oh no, I'm being possessed by Nasser. How could this happen? I'm gonna gross. We both learned from Dad. Sports, we're so stupid and complicated. Yet I was right there alongside them with them watching it. The reason it's complicated is because otherwise people cheat. Because there's too much on the line. Like, this is the problem with making sports too high stakes. And why I kind of feel like if you want to do something Olympics gamey, you gotta keep it low reward, because otherwise people will cheat just for the, because they got too much to make, too much to lose. Now, poor got to the point where he was even vocalizing a proven disappointment of his own with given plays. Something I hadn't seen him do in years if it wasn't with Uncle Mo. Aw, man, they're having... What's with the cute times? Hold up, we need to turn on something cute. We gotta turn on something cute for this. Let's put on Inko's theme. Just two dorks. It was such an obvious bluff from the defense fell for. Just seriously, even I could see that coming. And apparently no one's going on. Oh, I love it. Mulling over something. Hey, speaking of bluffs, something happened a while ago? Questions old secrets. What, you mean the shooting? Got a glimpse of Dad, whole body trembled, tits up. I mean, to be fair, Anna, you should probably qualify that a bit more, considering the context we're operating under. What? Oh, the slide direct. There's something that happened. Oh. Oh, something happened at them. Oh, God, he's bringing this up. Something happened to the bluffs, for Mrs. Aaron. But I don't know about what happened. Something you need to know about? He's steaming out halfway through his question. It couldn't help Jesus Christ, Anon. I think the problem is you let Anon off the leash, and now he's asking the fucking Nasser question. You were curious. I think I just wanted to know. I don't know what happened over there, but from the bits I heard, made it sound important. I guess everything that happened. Dad sucked in a long breath before healing its. Goddamn. Are we doing this? I feel like anyone who's written this fanfic knows this fucking story, right? Anytime I ask you to deflect, that's because. Oh, you idiot! Hold up, we gotta. Now we get to pull out the fucking intense theme. Not much. Mrs. Aaron made a passing mention 1 or 2 times while we were talking about the past, but she didn't want to elaborate. I didn't really want to push at the time, but it didn't sound good. Damn it, Sam. Dad muttered, barely loud enough to bear past the noise of the TV. I'm not even sure Anon heard it all. He leaned forward against the chair and pinched the bridge of his snout. If we shouldn't talk about it, I could just forget that you're in a real habit of saying things to piss me off, you know that, boy? Dad suddenly growled, balling his free hand into a fist. Even in his disheveled state, his patented threatening aura still had plenty of bark to it. I seem to have that effect on a good number of people. Well, at least Anon staying in character. Anon offered, and he used this to diffuse things with a shaky, placating smile on his face. He had the look of a kid who'd been caught with his hand in a cookie jar and was trying to make a softer expression. Dad looked at Anon. Pinched his brow. Okay, we're just over describing what's happening. Well, I felt super vulnerable to mention on the anniversary. Back when he found me on the roof. But even we never got to it. Anon stepped in to stop me from hurting anyone and gave me more retrospect half-baked advice, but the moment was gone. Guess there was probably two of us, and we never opened with each other. Anon with doxing his history. I bet you're really bad at being open. That was Dad of all people. I would love it if this conversation is already over by the time that Fang pops back into reality, because we don't need to hear this. Although I guess his perspective does add something. Maybe if there's anything else that happened to the bluff, it doesn't really matter anymore. That was just too worn down to care. I expected a shouting as soon as first dinner. Just give up and stop. The with Husky, it just didn't have energy to spend. It wasn't fun anymore. Did not tell you what happened to his wing. Never brought up at all. That was, I mean, not hard not to, but never came up. Never wanted to ask. Didn't feel right. Whatever happened clearly didn't bother him. And then he realized what's going on. For an epiphany to occur. Whatever wanted to see if anyone. Wait, so Swing was the instant of the bluff causes Swing to be like that, yeah. He never seemed to mind it. That's because I raised him to never let that sort of thing get to him. After that, it took a long time to recover. Broke two bones in his right arm, shattered a femur, tore both wings. Doctor were able to patch up most injuries well enough to make a full recovery. Kid's bone he's fine, but was mangled beyond repair. I don't know, the wounds feel too clean for a mangling. I should touch Anon for a sense of grounding, but he was already going to find out I was the reason Anon got fucked and messed up bad. I think he'd hate me. After Jesus. He thought he died outright. Chatting up with Mo when Lucy came running, soaking wet, crying and wailing the Nasser phone. Man, I had a moment like this. Twice in my life. Maybe twice. Maybe thrice even. She tried to go sailing, but the current was too strong with the swells at the base of the bluffs. She was only 11 at the time, too small to deal with them. Pulled in and jumped away. He was in terrible shape and losing a lot of blood. Part of a beat cop. Oh, he's a beat cop back then. So he became commissioner quite recently then, considering the position. We can go to the hospital immediately, or when I made it. Or was he already chief by this point? Chief commissioner or whatever. Don't know how hemorrhaging was. Oof. To keep the girls away, Sam wouldn't stop screaming or crying, and neither would Lucy. So I thankfully was unconscious for all of it, pulling him out. The ambulance rider went to the surgery on him. Woke up a day like later. Drugs. Just, hey, Dad, what happened? Didn't realize what happened. Didn't remember. Sam didn't assure him that everything was going to be fine, even though he didn't understand. So we're getting a bit more context of like, yeah, from Nasser's perspective, nothing happened. He just fell. Lucy refused to visit him. Not surprised. Everything changed after that. I became a withdrawal anger. Started treating Nasser badly even after he came back from the hospital and healed up. Sometimes I tried to correct things. She rebuffed us at every opportunity, so eventually just focus on the one that wasn't broken. Because at some point, what can you do? I mean, as parents, it's like a really bad moment, right? When you find out that one of your kids is just not cooperative anymore. I feel like this would work better if we just had Anon be the guy doing the conversation, and then he looks over and Fang's just this mess. Because that's a fun reveal, as they say. I feel like too many people are like, we need to know everything in the moment, but like, it's fun to have a character have a response off screen, and you're like, oh shit, I should have figured that would have happened. would have blown his top at that question instead of screaming all the gesturing. Suppose so. Neither Sam and I meant to focus only on Nasser. We didn't need attention while I was recovering. Any attempt to bridge the gap with Lucy was met with one of our hands being slapped or her screaming back at us. All we could do was keep trying, but it never seemed to work. As the years went on, Nasser kept devoting to a fine man, Lucy, she just never really put things back together. The day changed her permanently. I mean, admittedly, in this ending, like, Fang never processed the event, did they? I kept thinking, boy, maybe it changed her more than it did Nasser. Now she's gone. They both are. Jesus Christ, Anna, could you not say the thing you're about to disprove, you fucking moron? You sound like an asshole once you reveal it. Was Bosley was responding to Dad, or was an animated observation for herself? Without the TV to fill the air, there was just the sound of blood rushing through my head, the quiet breaths of two people alive in the room. Eventually, Dad broke the silence first. Yes, they were. Don't know what I could have done differently. Something I've used in my life to dwell on now. But clearly, what I did do wasn't enough. Ugh, that's a terrible feeling as a dad. That didn't sound like he was moving or breathing. Oh no, he's become a ghost now. Do you have a good relationship with my parents? Oh shit, we're doing Anon stuff. I didn't have a good relationship with my parents either, honestly. Anon finally sat, breaking the quiet before Dad could unmute the TV. Out of reflexive curiosity, I lowered my wing a little. So not enough to stop blocking my view, just enough to see Dad's hand hovering over the remote. Well, I'm sure you heard about the incident that happened midway through the year about me, getting your dirty laundry out in front of the whole school. I heard from Nasser and Naomi after it happened when I was trying to figure out where Lucy disappeared to. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Would be more accurate to say I was fucking humiliated at Purple. Sorry, that's not the important part, even if I hate her for doing it. I feel like you're over-describing this. Like, again, you're trying to write something snappy and you're putting all this shit in there. Again, this is why I use Anon's perspective. Like, you could explain why he's doing this, why he's, like, holding himself back. Like, can he blame... I feel like Anon's perspective more irrelevant here anyway. This is why POV swapping is annoying, and why third person, just letting the narrator tell you what's relevant is way better. Because you don't get these fucking telescopic ear problems. He spies Trish after that accident. Of course! Because he never apologized or did the thing that you do in the good ending. And then Trish went and stabbed me in the back on prom night, too, like an anime fan on prom night. Should have listened to Anon about her. It's a mistake. It's a big part of why I'm here in Volcaldera in the first place. These pictures existed in the first place because I was a retarded kid on the internet and made images of myself. They were posted for some laugh on an internet forum, and it turns out someone had saved them. I like how your dad's okay with this. Are we building a dad relationship here? Dad relationship. And a few days later, the school was covered in those pictures. Whoever did it recognized me at school, printed out hundreds of them. Honestly, I'm impressed that this person was able to find a printer to just print hundreds of these fucking things. Surely someone there would have asked some questions. Tacked them up on every bulletin board, plastered them on every door, even stuffed my locker with them. There were so many, there was no way the entire fucking student body wouldn't see them. That's also what they did on another one. I think the gay one. So Nothing Else Matters. They did something like this. After that, my life was over. It was non-stop bullying the second I got on the grounds. Things were thrown at me. Laughing, jeering, mocking. People tripped me. At least one water bottle dumped on me. I was happy it wasn't loaded with piss for how shit the day was going. It's non-stop from the first moment to the last bell of the day. By the time I got home, I realized I needed to get out of there. Mom and Dad, in a rare moment of being in my corner for once, agreed. So you moved. Yep. 3 weeks to get everything situated, and I was on a plane to Volcaldera. From where? Rock Bottom. Honestly, I feel like you couldn't... Like, Rock Bottom feels like the kind of town where it's like, where? What state? In the original, it's California. It's Reddington or something, which is like, I guess you would probably know about that. But in this context, it doesn't really work, because it's implied to be beyond the state. It's quite a trip. Surprised your parents agreed so readily. Yeah, well, it's a lot easier to agree when they didn't have to come with. They didn't move with you? Of course not. They had important jobs to deal with. So I flew out here by myself, set up shop in the shittiest apartment money could buy over in the Skin Row. Compliments of release from my loving parents. Oh God. Your parents set you up in Skin Row? Yeah, that they did, right next to the Carfettes and the lowlife, with only a crumb of an allowance for food. Hell, I had to take the lunch guard at school to make sure I had enough to eat that day. I knew he had it bad. He was living on his own, which at the time I thought must have been a blessing. It must have been a blessing, even. But thinking about it more critically, how he started laying things out, things were worse than I realized. EA talked about needing the lunch card. Yeah, I made fun of him. Never called, never checked in. Just foisted me off to full Caldera with an ultimatum and seemingly washed the hands of me. An ultimatum? I don't remember ever mentioning ultimatum. Yeah, that's what the words were, and I quote, college or the service. The army or college, I don't care which. It's practically the last thing he ever really said to me before I headed out to the airport. The sole exception was a brief telephone call to ask about borrowing his suit for prom. Otherwise, total radio silence. Not even, no. All three of us knew what he was going to ask, and I mentioned a few times prior that no one visited him. Oh yeah, it's like I think his dad energies are kicking in. So it's not. So who's saying this? I'm unclear. Could be either, really. So it's not good how you treated Fang. I think we agree all that, but maybe it was better. Maybe it just made things worse. But I mean, at least you tried. So I guess it's Anon. I want to get angry at Anon for even suggesting that the other trash fire mess of my family situation could somehow be better than his upbringing, but I considered how Anon turned out, the man he was before the shooting, and how miserable about literally everything he seemed. God, I couldn't. I didn't think he was right, yet I couldn't bring myself to challenge it either. What was wrong with all of us? Dad didn't really seem to know what to say in response to that either. And on suggestion of at least you tried was like some sort of malformed gold sticker star just limply flopped over the conversation and settled in place. Nothing was moving for a long time. Was this part of the deal? This feels weird. While I'm busy putting my foot in mouth with questions I shouldn't be asking, I'm surprised you all was here in the afternoon when I came to visit at Mrs. Aaron's insistence. Oh, we're going into this. As shocking as his line of blunt questioning was, I admit that I was something I was curious about too. I almost didn't want to hear the answer, mainly because I already knew. Felt like I already knew. Something about always seeing him here without fail when we'd arrive in the early afternoon was unsettling, as it seemed to be the new normal. I was retired. I guess that makes sense. Probably spent more time with Mrs. Aaron with everything going on. It was suggested to me by the mayor. Wait, you were fired? Wait, you were fired? Yeah, wait, what? I like how it's like it's answering Fang's question of like, wait, what? I like that a lot. That's great. God, like we're fired. Wait, what? No. There was a formal inquiry once things settled down, but Lucy had stolen the gun. It was mine, of course. But it had been secured in the gun safe and all expected safety protocols had been followed. She just knew the code in case it was needed. Everyone in the house did. In terms of my obligation as registered owner, no fault was found once the investigation had concluded. In the eyes of the law, at least, I wasn't found guilty of anything. That's interesting. I never thought about that. Holy shit, Arlock, that's neat. So I returned to work. Guess that made sense. So what happened? Once the investigation was done, only took 2 weeks for it to finish the internal review, we, the department, tried to move forward. Public was making a lot of noise, but we anticipated it. I just kept working, keeping on task. And eventually hoped they'd move on. They always did after a tragedy. One that involved me wouldn't be any different. His calm, authoritative tone continued to carry him through his explanation. He wasn't staring at Anna, and he sure as... Stop doing this! I get it. The point's been made. You can stop doing it now, Arlock. He stared at the middle distance. The mayor made it very clear at the time that he was under a lot of pressure in the wake of the tragedy from the media and the governmental higher-ups, not just because the shooter was my daughter and thus brought a lot of the department actions under close scrutiny, but also because of the loss of life in general. It's one thing when an adult gets killed, but a kid, let alone kids, at school? I mean, the police union was going to bust me out. Like, have you seen what happens at most school shootings, Jen? And I got shafted for all the calls for me to step down because of my associate. I mean, I guess it is slightly different if it's a cop's if it's a chief's son. That is like a thing that hasn't really happened so far, but whatever. for all the calls for me to step down because of my association with Lucio and whatever professional failures they had invented in their head. It was just as much sentiment of pity for me for having lost both of my children. Most of my children? And that let the mayor avoid having to bring down the axe, though I doubt I would have survived it when it came time for the old annual review. In the end, though, all that didn't matter. One of the younger guys, once the investigation was over, brought me my pistol back. I think he was trying to do me a favor. A favor? The service pistol was a gift from the mayor for my service as commissioner. Not really meant for shooting. Guess it's some sort of holdover tradition the force had. So the kid was trying to do me a favor, and return was essentially a trophy. Oh, this is okay. Okay, so this is what's happening. Jesus. Yeah, he returned the trophy that was the murder weapon. That's how it's okay. A little confused because some of the context isn't clear. Yeah, he brought over the gun, like, hey, buddy, this is your gun, and it's cleared. It's no longer evidence, so you can have it back, buddy. And he's like, no, this just reminds me of my kid. I didn't make that connection. That's good. I like being caught off guard. Thank you, Arlock. Oh, you got a solid blow in me. Good hook. I love it. I didn't handle well, to put it lightly. Ended up ripping it out of his hands and throwing it across the office. Then I started really tearing into the kid. In retrospect, I feel awful about it. He looked so confused. Some of the older guys tried to calm me down. They realized, even with the cursing and yelling, I wasn't really handling everything nearly as well as I looked. Why did I have storming out of the office and heading home without further intervention? And that was enough? I mean, considering everything, it is kind of the breaking point. That was enough. The next day got called over to the mayor's office when he's driving across town like the PD ain't part of the mayor. I've never been in a place where that's the case. I could tell he had been wanting a reason to get me out of there, take the pressure off of him. It was only holding off because all my guys looked up to me. Thought things would be fine with me being the old hot ass to steer the ship in the interim, at least until they found a suitable replacement. Instead, I lost it and gave him an excuse on the silver platter to take heat off his ass. Showed him all the blame on someone else. So he just fired you, just like that. Nah, kid, firing me would look bad too. Enough people pitied Sam and I over losing NASA. They were willing to overlook Lucy's side of things. Despite that, he could force me to retire early, get the pension, go to the golden parachute and all that, and step down with some resemblance of dignity for a favor of getting all the pressure off. And I took it. Didn't even consult Sam about it. I just agreed and went home that day. Man, that's gotta be suck ass. Showed up back here before lunch with my car full of boxes. Damn, they were ready to throw you out. She wasn't even surprised. Maybe she was surprised I actually managed to keep going as long as it did. Like she did relatively normal. We didn't talk anymore until then. Oh, and then the funeral happened. Holy shit, the funeral happened after that? Pat pats for Ripley in chat, please. You mentioned seeing Dad in the rain for hours. At the time, I found it hard to imagine that the hulking prick could have. Yep. Even as when Sam and I discussed doing the rights, it didn't feel real. It always seemed like some terrible hypothetical you talk about with your wife, but ultimately get comforted by the fact that you would realistically never have to do it. Talked about it more seriously, but decided against it in the end. We were at the visitation. We got to see NASA there. Lucy was a closed casket. I like to imagine that Nasser was not shot in the head, so they could probably cover that up with the suit. It's probably a chest wound if it killed him, or a leg wound. Some of the guys, Mo and myself, were pallbearers. Loaded them into the hearses and drove to the cemetery. We watched their caskets get lowered into their plots. Watched as the holes were filled, and as the headstones were set in place. I always thought headstones were in place ahead of time. Huh. I stood there in the rain, disconnected as everything happened around me. But when it was done, Sam and I stood there alone. Only then did the reality of things really dawn on me. That was the first time I properly grasped that both of my children were dead. I went there. I know. The officer let you pass. Thomas told me later he did it. Now my boys were there for the funeral, not just to keep the cordon, but also to help us with the procession. One final gift from the mayor. They offered their condolences as best they could. They meant well, it all felt like a wasted effort to me. Didn't matter if they were there or not. All I could think about was my children being buried in the 6 feet of dirt. I think the problem is that you might try to kill one of the photographers that would definitely show up. Man, I love how it's like, this obviously was never going to be a great chapter because of what it's trying to do, and I like that we're going this angle with it. Damn. We're giving Ripley like a lot of character building that generally does not get that much attention. I get that.
No. No, you don't, boy. As much as I don't like you, I hope you never have to feel how I feel.
I lost Fang and Asa too. I wasn't great to them, but they didn't mean nothing to me.
It's different with other children, kid.
Yeah.
Probably is. After that, you already know what happened. I've just been there. The guys from the force stop by pretty regularly at first, but over the last couple of weeks it's petered off. Mo stops by regularly when he can, but otherwise I have no one but Sam, an empty house, and my thoughts and regrets to occupy my mind these days.
Is that why you want grandkids? Because you're shit at making other friends?
And then comment at that time, I didn't really understood that much.
I gotta go use the bathroom. And all goes, fuck Weezus. Head in his hands. Yeah. Like, it's pretty damn obvious that your dad was in a bad spot, but losing his job immediately after using you, jam.
It's bullshit, is what it is.
Yeah.
To justify or excuse how he acted to me.
Jesus Christ. I like how in this one, technically speaking, things are better than they are in Bad Apple, but the emotional weight that's being given to things is way better. Like, I don't give a shit about Rosa's dad dying. So irrelevant. And, like, Sam is basically killed off screen. Like, all things considered, the only real sad part is that Ripley is like that. And even that is, like, portraying him more as a monster than a person. The sad monster, but a monster.
Melkdown took down one of his subordinates. So, parents, huh? Yeah, parents.
You know, he never really made... He made a mention or two about him, but we never really talked about it.
There's not much to talk about.
Like I said, sure, it doesn't excuse that your family did, but at least they were trying. Even if they kind of failed.
Well, the other ones have failed. Not that it makes it good or anything, but just...
Damn it, I don't know. Fuck, everything's a mess. Yeah, it really is. Still, I just kind of took it for granted that you didn't have your parents breathing down your neck. Stupid to say now, but seems like you were just lucky at the time. Got your own apartment, got to go out and come back when you want it. Just doing your own thing with no strings attached. It definitely wasn't no strings.
I get that now. Makes me feel like a moron that I never thought about it, I guess.
So sticking my own thing with mom and dad and Nasser. I was in my business and controlling everything. It was so easy to look at you and look, he's got it pretty good compared to me. Uh, I guess what I know shows what I know. I guess I was a pretty bad partner. Oh no, this is Fang talking. I keep forgetting we're in Fang's POV. And I was like, why do you keep correcting yourself, Fang? Stop. We get it. I think we both sucked. Just stick to the good ones. I think we both sucked. Should have supported you better. Should have listened to Mo, or your brother, Uncle Mo.
So,
Given all that, what do you think I'll try to sell with this whole shebang, given how well I've done my classic foot and mouth technique? That wasn't exactly the good mood. I don't know. If it's we're not out yet, they got a chance. How the fuck do we still get a picture? Man, we are just snapping over, huh? Samantha's there. That's what I'm here for, right? Ugh. And I'll flush the toilet to maintain our cover. And I just now talking to himself. He's a little fucked up. It's fine, Dad. It's quieter than usual. Okay, and all in Dad, conversation mostly consisted of talk with lucky unfair sports. Cute. Or avoided mentioning the heavy talk. Oh yeah, he's worn out, so when Sam is stopping him, he can't move. And moved to do the up cleanup while Mom left the dish to grab something real fast. The sensation of butterflies was coming back. Oh man, I'm gonna kiss Dad. Wait a minute. Kiss Dad? They were making the move. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Okie dokie. While Anna was finishing up the drawing, Mom walked back to the kitchen with a large album book. Her snoot was held high as she processioned with it, probably like a holy object. Sam, I'm not really.
That'll do, dear.
Dear, please, we were enjoying it last time with Mo here.
Because Mo is basically family.
I'd like to go through it again. I found a few new pictures and added them to the album. Oh, that's bad. That's just bad. He gave her a long look for a moment, his lack of energy battling with his curiosity. Might seem a bit childish, but even I crossed my anything, hoped there'd be enough to push Dad over to roll with it.
Fine. Guess the kid's already aware of current events. If you want to show him her baby pictures, then knock yourself out.
I guess Anon becoming a regular occurrence really did help. Everything is coming together. I like how we got that picture in the background of Nasser, but what's the picture of? I think I'm gonna close this for a second so I can just open this picture and take a closer look in full screen. Ah, it's Nasser holding a trophy and Chet is holding him up. So that's a cute picture. I gotta say, impressive that you got a picture in a picture for this. I hadn't realized that Mom had pulled the spare seat up. I like how Ripley looks like this. He looks so much more like a. He looks weird. He's kind of around the cheeks and everything. The game plan was what we did with her. Show him the evidence. I apply my ghostly touch, and hopefully something good could come of it. I don't know if any of the good comes of it. I kind of thought this was like when it already had worked, considering where it is in the chapter. I'm gonna point a picture at the picture. Anon's efforts on the dishes. Yeah, Anon's like, hey, I kind of want to look around. So it does in the picture where baby barely able to crawl. Listen, I don't know why baby pictures are embarrassing. You never look like your fucking like your baby self. Babies are so small; they have none of the detail. They're terribly optimized models, or maybe too optimized. Innocent time aired out to my boyfriend like that, and another part was happy and to relive those happy memories. Christmas, Easter, birthdays, all of it. Nasser in Little League and me on the piano. Wasn't sure how long it had gone on, but at one point Dad started to chip in on the occasion with his own anecdote or memory. Aww. Yeah, I tried to show off the small album in the game. Sure, yeah. Like, this is why that bites you in the ass. Because really, in the long term, God, if you said, let this go well. God, please. I'm sorry, but Raptor Buddha is all you are getting today. Aren't you Hindu? I am. I'm from India, but unfortunately, Raptor Buddha couldn't make it. God damn it, Shiva. Oh, of course not Shiva. Shiva not have time either. God damn it, then who has time to hear my plea? And he pulls out like one of those minor gods where it's like, this is not a major religion. It's like worshipped in one village somewhere. It's like, God damn it. It is all that was available today. I tried my best for you, you know. Gives him a pat in the back. A bark of a laugh from Dad startled me out of my thoughts. I looked at the picture they were on now, and oh god, it was both of me and Nasser crying, covered in algae and lake gloop. I can't believe you went to Goo Lagoon. After church, spent all day around older people talked and caught up. At one point, Snake strengthening the man raced the end of the dock. Took him up. In retrospect, it was funny. Both met at the end of the dock and raced right off the cliff into the lake. Right off the edge. Not a cliff. Was they weren't in any danger of met a miserable covered in green goo. That's not a healthy lake. I think. I miss Nasser. No, you miss Nasser. He's still dead. He hasn't come back. Oh man, I miss him past tense. I don't miss him anymore. Why should I? That version of her, no idea what was in store. I quickly crushed down the thought. It's better for her to be remembered like that than how I've left her. Thinking on my dumb brother being so sickeningly cute and proper in the pictures. Aww. Man, that's such a weird thing to look back on. Why is it Worm Drama, not Worm Dharma? Dharma and Greg. Mood softened, doubling childhood pictures. Okay, so we're... Oh, they're all standing together. Now, Anon's... Like, again, I kept thinking that this bottom part is like his mouth. He's like, ah! But it's actually just his face. And that's the problem you get with a face like that. This is not such hideous jacket. Ugh. Group pictures became rarer. Seeing his problem daughter in the picture was a faint nostalgic smile. Because that back then you weren't killing people. You missed me. There was a mere chance in Devon. Ugh. Time was almost up. There were no pictures from prom. Almost snapping a toddler before he bailed in the worst prom in recorded history. But none of us knew that at the time. What was she thinking with that dress? Yeah, what was Naomi thinking with that fucking dress? I love how just it's unapologetic. You know, I agree with Fang. The dress shirt and vest were fine, but the fucking booty shorts were a little too much trying to hit someone instead of trying to be something else. Because agender clothing is just normal ass slacks, man. So don't even pretend. Like, you're feminine, so mix in the masculine instead of going for fucking feminine ass booty shorts. I guess femboys wear it, but whatever. Continue to dote in the picture. Mo and Mom. Ugh. Continue to dote in the picture. She sifted through until we reached the end. She flipped the thick plastic section of the page, revealed a whole picture. One of Mom, Anon, and myself. Once we took at Mo to convince her, along with the others around town, we're sitting there right in front of Dad. Dad's like, this is so bad. A dozen pictures in different places, lighting conditions in Bozer. We took some at the park, some at a random care. All the strange spectral version of me next to Mom or Anon. Once I finished my quick appraisal, I turned my attention to Dad, as had Mom and Anon. His eyes grew wider as he took in the pictures laid out in front of him. His skeptical mind is likely to find... It's not really evidence. You can just fake this shit. You can fake this shit. Also, we got a music suggestion, which again, Arlock, I kind of trust you with this stuff. You've got taste. That's a really good song. I mean, from the few notes I hear, that does hold on the liminal. Boy, wife sent a comment. You know, I did enjoy a Bad Apple when I found it. But I need to be honest with him that, like, I am coming at Bad Apple from the top rope with high expectations, and maybe I'm the problem. His eyes traced. Okay, let's turn on that anxiety one. Pale morning.
Sam, what the hell is this?
Fang? I nodded, rising from my spot on cue. Fang. Then began to say as my hand raised up, then came down in contact zone that was closest to me. Immediately, I mean, to be fair, this is spooky. this is just trying to pull a fucking ghost trick. His eyes were nearly bulging out of his skull as he stared directly, or more correctly, through me. What was... Wait, so this ghost Fang is real? Wait, what? I've been seeing and hearing it this whole time, you know, but I was just kind of like, that can't be real. What the fuck, Dad? Why can you see her, but I can't? This is so annoying. I leaned forward to grab the tip of one of the pictures that was hastily placed in the plastic binding. Well, she had time. Then pulled it free slowly and deliberately. Just a picture of me and Anon, one the Mom had taken. But with all my strength, I stood directly in front of him. No doubt used a fair bit of energy to do so. The problem is your energy isn't, like, time-bound instead of, like, actually costing you something physically. Unless that's what the things are like. I shot wide the photo before looking at the empty seat next to him where I was before his head snapped to look at Mom and Anon. Both of them... That's paced like a joke. Both of them nodded. The problem is it's a new line. If it was just here, it feels more serious than if you put it down here like it's a fucking punchline. Would it? I don't know. Try it out. See how it fits. Maybe we can both learn something today. Actually, I can probably edit this HTML and see how that works. So let's do it. Or maybe it's just my mood. You know, it could also be that. So fun fact, because this is all just a big old HTML file, you can do this funny thing where you just like edit and you just go like, oh, I'm gonna edit that out. Okay, cool. And then you do it like this, and then you edit this, and you edit this, and you edit that out. No, 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 I want this out. Shit, this won't work because it's auto-correcting the, can I just take this text right out of here? Oh! Oh, here we go. I think I've mission success. Yeah, I think that this is less. It's trying to be less jokey, at least. Or if Fang also nods, because now it just feels like Fang's giggling. His breathing began to grow heavy as he turned his attention back to the photo, back to me. I raised my hand to touch him again, but before I could, he quickly sat out of his seat, sending the chair scraping backwards from the table, causing me to jump a little. I tried to focus on me in the empty seat next to him, but they kept wildly feeling things that were actually there. Dear? It made me incredibly uncomfortable. I do feel that if you go for a horror vibe, you want to put this afterwards. I feel like this kind of clarifying text, you kind of want that to go after people respond, because then it's like, I don't know, there's something about the pacing that works for me that way, but maybe that's me. Like, horror is very personal. Because that implies that because then you create ambiguity in a way that feels uncomfortable. Because, like, no, the ambiguity shouldn't be there. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Because, again, I have really silly, shitty humor from time to time, and humor and comedy are extremely personal. As, you know, they're kind of tied together in a way. That seemed to be enough to trigger a response from him. I just took a step back, then slowly but measuredly walked over, pulled the door to the backyard open, and slipped out into the darkness of the back deck. And he's just gone! That's just fucking gone now, I guess. We've lost him. He went to go get some milk. We all watched him go. As the door wide open, it seemed like he would have slammed it shut behind him. Is it an invitation? Should I? I'll do it. I don't know what it was. I like how your mom doesn't say anything. It feels like she should be like, what do you mean, Anna? I was like, no, I was talking about Fang. Although maybe you built on that connection a bit more. And if Fang did what they had to do, it was a monster. It was his failure. It was his daughter. Yep. I feel like if you're going to do this, you should probably keep the I was in. I know I often complain about the amount of sentences that start very plainly like that, but for this, you're trying to go for effects. You might as well go for it. I was his monster. I was his failure. I was his daughter. It's also kind of a good one. I feel like it works better if you go with I was his failure, I was his monster, I was his daughter, because it's like, oh yeah, and it's like, oh, that's kind of nasty. And it's like, oh, you know, kind of rhymes. But that's a good one. That's really nice. That's kind of sexy. Okay. And on indicator, so to from mom. Signing the door. Closing the short distance and sliding door to give some privacy. Man, I can't believe you could slide all the way out there. The second dance tension. The sound got that. Okay. The sound got Dad's attention enough to cause us hit to twitch where it was, facing out into the yard. Into the wooden railings, arms crossed. I feel like at this point, considering how tired and like physically, because he hasn't eaten that well, exhausted he is, he's probably like, my god, fucking hell. The waning moon gave us enough light to make out the features on his face, which helped a rather silly, persistent, soft glow you gave off. Yeah, but that glow, the weird part is you glow, right? Is only visible to Anon and you, which is weird, because that means Anon can see things by virtue of univisible light, which is like a super cheat code for dark vision. God damn it. Every time I think about dark vision, I think about little asshole me saying stupid shit about dark vision. I fucking hate that version of me. It's really you, ain't it, Lucy? Yeah, it's me. I confirmed, painfully wishing he would be able to hear me. There's no chance he would, but he could feel it, or intuit it. Maybe both just confused that he winged it. Just fucking slap him. You still got some energy left, right? Still deserves some recognition? I feel like you're overselling this. Like, we get what you're going for. You touch us for him. There we go. I like how he's, like, clearly having a different reaction than Sam was. And, like, you need it warming up. The whole thing is kind of planted in his head.
I was spending a lot of time thinking about what I would say if I saw you again. I wasn't expecting to see you on the other side, if I'm honest.
The admission, yeah. The admission ain't been certain. I was rotting in hell. Sparked a flash of hesitation in me. They could have tried to swat him in the arm, but I gotta do the rooftop scene. Listen, I just like bringing up the rooftop scene. It's like everyone's gotta be quiet when someone's having a rant. Just hate it.
But on the off chance I did get to see you somehow, maybe you, Paige, will do, so we eventually get to see your mother and I. And ask her up there, Because God did ask for like $50,000, which isn't all that much considering what I saved up.
I've never seen Dad this frail or emotional in my life. The pale light on his face caught the moisture on the skin and glinted on. I would prefer it if you actually gave off, like, faint light. Like, not bright light, but if someone's looking for it, they can tell it's there. There's, like, this odd moonish light. Like, under the moonlight, maybe you glow. Like, only when there's already some sort of light source from the moon, from the sun. You know, just enough that your presence can be detected. But too subtle that people wouldn't believe it if they just saw it, you know? It's like, it's not. That I was like this unshakable, unmoving mountain of a person. Something you could rely upon.
I think all I can say right now is how I'm just so goddamn disappointed in you, Lucy.
Oh, that's all he's saying, huh?
And I just wanted to ask you, why?
Fuck. This poor man. Give him pet pats. Pet pats for Ripley in chat, please. Or comments, I guess. If I don't see pet pats when this video comes out, I'll be sad.
Was it all my fault?
Oh, shit. Listen. This is the good kind of twist, right? Because everything he has implied is like, no, I blame Lucy. And to an extent, you know, Anon, but... I was hoping that this chapter would end with like, oh, we've already resolved all of our problems, but no, it's like, no, buddy, we ain't there yet. And the next one, we're starting off with Anon, and we're not doing a telescopic ear thing, I think. Which, you know, considering we had the... man, I'm... oh, man, an hour? This video is an... listen, you know it's good when I want to A, read more, and B, lost track of time. I'm going to hold on to the last 3 chapters because we don't have much more to go, and I kind of need this shit to keep me sane throughout Bad Apple. I might have to double down on Bad Apple. Because I do not want Bad Apple haunting me for the rest of my life. I like how it's called hope maxing, but Ghost of the Snoot is like way more good with the tragedy and despair and hope than Bad Apple is. Bad Apple's so fucking shit. Ugh. Thanks for posting that link, Dave. Oh, man, I forgot to do the... Thank you for coming, though. Next time, more cool shit. Wow. Oh, man, the Gielinor Games 5 super trailer? I don't give a shit. I mean, I like Gielinor Games. I like watching it. But trailer? Call me when the show's out, right, gamers? Oh, no, it's supposed to be, am I right, gamers? Gamers?